she said, "Hey, we heard about this patch." And honestly, I thought she was talking about a different patch. But anyway, I said, "Sure, go ahead." And I ordered it anyway. And I was so thankful, silly me, oh, here, I'll just start sticking these things on. Well, I've had, arthritis for years. It's just a ugly thing that has been part of the family line, and I'm breaking that curse with me. I'm done. So anyway, my hips have been just chronic pain for years and years, and I had back surgery in 2019. Well, everything's healed well on my back surgery because it wasn't a big one, but residual pain, and the hips, with arthritis, pain. Well, my doctor, I love him to death. I've had him for years, but he just kept, medicine, medicine, medicine. And I'm like, I'm done with medicine. Okay. I don't want any more medicine. I want either fix it or forget it. And he didn't like that answer. But, so I got the patches and I started wearing them, and I got, I think, the silver pack. So I had, the X39 and a few others. So I started wearing them. And, because of the chronic pain, I wasn't sleeping real well at night. So I was, kind of always that tired feeling. And I was like, okay, I'm not in pain all the time. So I'm sleeping. And I go, oh, that in itself for me was a miracle because, not sleeping for years isn't good for anybody. So, in the first few months, I was bad about not being consistent with the patches. And so then it's like, okay, I've got to, I was, watching more testimonials and the positive results. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Get busy. So I got consistent and I started wearing the X39, the Aeon, and I'd still use the ice wave every now and then, if I had done something that I probably overdid. And it's like, okay, so that's working. And then I heard about the Alavita. So then I thought, well, now that would be a fun one to wear. And so I started wearing that one, and I I hadn't used the cream yet, but I just had the patch. So, stick it right in the middle of your forehead, looking cute at night. Well, one morning I was washing my face like I normally do, no makeup, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I had this scar right here above my eyebrow, for years. Because many moons ago, my picker was broken, and if there was a bad man in the world, I was all for him. And so I I had gotten smacked, once again. And he split my eye open. So anyway, so every day for years and years, I would see this ugly scar, and that would remind me of, the good smack and the blood pouring out. And, it's like, you get used to something for years, but you don't like it. But one morning, like I started saying, I'm washing my face and, I'm putting the cream on, just, moisturizer because, you got to moisturize. And I'm looking in the mirror and I got closer because I thought, wow, my eyesight's getting bad. And, because I couldn't find the scar. And now it's very, very faint, and it was a pretty doozy of a scar because the wristwatch catch, whatever you call it, latch is what cut me. And so I I ran to my phone and I messaged Jody and said, Jody, you're not going to believe this. And so she, she's like, oh, that is wonderful. And it did. It was a big confidence booster for me because, you feel your face is the first thing you see is somebody. And, that scar had bothered me, and I had a couple other scars because of my picker being broken, and so they're healing and they're going away. And I only had expected the X39 and things to heal, well, maybe not so much heal, but help my body regenerate and get the arthritis to where I wasn't, feeling like I'm 120 years old. And the other stuff I never even knew was possible. And I don't have the jowls. I love English bulldogs, but I was starting to look like one, and I don't. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. So, again, I thank God and David Schmidt for making these patches. But my other big miracle is my 13-year-old poodle. Okay, he's 13 years old. He's a toy little poodle, and he has health issues because, as we all age. And so, he had a heart problem, Well, he went to the vet to get a sonogram because he had some things going on that, his vet wanted to see internally, if his heart was getting worse or whatever. So they shaved his side and did the sonogram. Well, I got some of the worst news I could possibly get. They found a tumor on his spleen. Well, I thought, oh my God, this is it. And he's 13 and he'll be 14 in February, so he would never have lived through a surgery. Dr. Levine told me that. And so we discussed, his quality of life and all that. And, he's my best buddy. And so I'm in tears, bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling. So, I go to pick him up from the vet, and he's kind of lethargic. And so he wouldn't even stand up on his own when I brought him home. Well, I was like, this is unacceptable. I am not going to let my little dog die. All right. So I had watched, I'd seen one of the things with Marcy about the glutathione stuff, and I had him. So I was like, okay, God, I'm counting on you. The patches and the prayers. So I put the glutathione and the carnosine on him, because he'd already been shaved there. Let those on for a couple days, got those off. Put the Aeon X39, and he's been up and running since the day I started putting the patches on him. This is Pepe, and he is 13 years young. Yes, he's got a gray beard, but he is Skippy and Pepe, and Pepe is Pepe. So that's, again, my miracle. And of course, my granddaughter using the Nirvana for depression, that's lifted because she's 12, and I did not want to get her started in the medicine cabinet, the antidepressants and stuff, because I know what a road that can be on. And it's like, it's so hard to get the correct medicine, and once you head down that path, they will keep you on that path. So, I'm not totally against, sometimes you need them, but not at 12. Okay.
But coming back, you also said you had some sun damage going on in your face.
Yes, because, I lived in California. Well, I grew up in Colorado, moved to California. I love the sun. Okay. And I was, the baby oil, let's go to the beach and all that. Well, on my birth certificate, it says I'm white. White is a piece of paper, literally. And so, with all the tanning, I, had gotten, the brown spots. And again, and they're fading, and because I thought, well, I'm going to be stuck with those forever because of years of abusing my skin, and they're fading, so, and all my other little incidentals that I thought I was going to be stuck with. Ooh, this is nice.
Now you said you had a significant amount of pain in your body, include that arthritis in the hips. Is that now gone, or is that decreasing significantly?
It has decreased so much that when it bothers me, I can use an Advil or a Tylenol. Well, I can put, with the patches, that has calmed down. And when I've got a lot to do that I really need to focus, I put the energy enhancer on and use the ADD protocol for that.
If you could let us know, how long have you been on the patches?
I think I got my first order the 1st of March this year. So, I started using them every day and following directions probably April or May. Again, I do things without reading directions sometimes. It's like, oh, sure, why not? It's okay, read the directions, follow directions. It works better when you do it that way. And since then, it's like, wow. And then I got the skincare system, the creams, and it's like, ooh, this is great. I wish the bottles were like this big. I just rub it everywhere.
Totally, totally. Well, thank you so much, Victoria, for coming on. Really appreciate you taking the time.
But thank you for having me, guys.
All right.